my greatest advice would be to learn to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
I truly believe that that's why I'm successful, because nobody will work as hard for you. And I'm looking right into the camera when I say this. Nobody will work as hard for you as you work for yourself.
Yep.
Ever. Nobody will care as much about what hotel you get put into as you do. I mean, these are hard facts. So if you learn to do all of this yourself, yes, it is an enormous amount of work. Yes, it is stressful. Yes, you want to die several times throughout the process. But in the end, you know that everything is just as you want it for your own career, your own path. Yeah, everything is, and that's very important to me. So that would be my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice is that Google is your best friend. Honestly, with that first year, when we got all these random tour dates, Germany, then we had one in France 3 weeks later, and then one in Poland 2 weeks after that, you have to fill all those holes. So, it sounds silly and it sounds so simple, but I Googled festivals in France in July, and then you just start reaching out. You get yourself a good EPK, a good booking email that's not too long and that doesn't have too many links in it, so it doesn't get flagged by especially the international filters. And just start pushing out. Even if you get 1 out of 100 submissions, all you need is 1 for that one date,
Yeah.
So you can never do too much. And again, it's hard. Sometimes you feel defeated or rejected, if you don't get accepted for these things or whatever. There are 1,000,001 bands out there. Maybe they just wanted something more pop oriented, or it's not, you can't take it personally. You have to just keep pushing forward. And if that festival wasn't a good fit for you, 1 on your list of 100 definitely will be. So you just have to blanket research and also book in advance. A lot of the big festivals and things like that book about, I would say, at least 6 months in advance.
How about like bringing all of your equipment and your band and everything like that?
Overseas equipment is tricky. We get all of our backline rented.
Okay.
A good piece of advice would be to get status with an airline. I choose Delta because they happen to be very friendly to musical instruments from our experience. And we've probably flown every single airline. Some are terrible. They just don't care. We've had a lot of luck with Delta. And it's very important to read all of the fine print on their website. Even again, if you just Google like Delta musical instrument policy and make sure, and I even call sometimes and record the phone call so that if you have trouble, that's happened to me before where they wouldn't let me on. I said, oh, well, I spoke to this person on this date and here's the video, the screen capture of my phone, and they let me on.
That's
So
awesome.
keep good records, always make sure. And what we do is when you have status with an airline, for example, because we put all of our flights and tour expenses on the one credit card, I get 2 free check bags for each of my guys. So that's huge going
That's
overseas.
awesome. Yeah.
So we usually have 1 personal suitcase each and then 1 gear that we pack. So my drummer, for example, we usually do like a suitcase of, his snare and like some important stuff. For me, my second suitcase is usually merch, and so I think that's really important. And then you just give the festivals like a good stage plot and backline list. And I mean, 9 out of 10 times it's okay. But I would have to say too that my guitarist and I, our saving graces have been that we do line 6 helixes overseas and anywhere. That's all we use for our live rig now. So we don't require amps. We just go direct, and your sound is always the same no matter where you go because it's digital modeling. So you never have to worry about, sometimes are you a guitarist, by the way?
I'm not. I'm a singer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure those sometimes that,
I do.
you ask, oh, we need a Marshall, whatever, or a combo or similar, and they'll give you like the practice line 6 spider that's like this big. You show up. So when you have your own equipment, and literally the Helix is a pedal board, me and my lead guitarist both go through one. You could do 2 inputs onto one. So we don't need like any gear, and you always know that you're going to be safe no matter where you go.